all encountered this, no? They are, saying their objections on some of your points, the pricing, the features. So how do you manage that? So what is your mindset when it comes to those objections?
Okay. You don't want to be caught off guard when there's an objection. So
Right.
it's part of your preparation, actually. So your client, your customer will be surprised if you're able to answer an objection very quickly. So again, it's part of your preparation. So you anticipate the objections. You try to ask another person as if they don't like your product or service. Yeah,
Right.
tell them to ask you first before you go to the meeting itself. Para you already are prepared. But once you're there, and let's say there's an objection that you haven't prepared for, just be ready with your data, evidences of your or proof of your services and your product. It may be a testimony of a customer.
Right.
It
Good
may
point.
be a a statistical data, especially if it's been gathered for more than just not a small sample but a bigger sample of statistical data, or anything that is published that you already have provided or was published or written about you. Those are very strong support for your objections.
Mm-mm.
And of course, you have to be very calm and composed.
Right, right.
Those, and,
Oh, yung iba nagpapanik na pag may mga lalo na kung medyo aggressive yung objection, ano. In my
exactly.
case, most of the time kasi like in my case kasi mga software solutions, no. When the customer is looking for a feature that we don't have, no. When at the early stage of my sales experience kasi sometimes you overpromise, eh, 'di ba? So you tend to para lang makuha yung sales, sinasabi mo, yeah, we have this and that, we can customize this and that. But eventually I learned to be really honest, we don't have that.
Yeah.
This is what we have at the moment. We do have a pipeline of features in the future. But sometimes yung hinahanap nila is really something that they don't need, eh. 'Di ba? They are just looking for it for the sake of
Nice to have.
nice to have, o
Nice to
kaya
have.
may
Yeah.
maitanong lang. Kasi pag yung boss niya tanong, do you have question? Mapipressure sila magtanong, eh, di ba? So, they are asking for something they really don't need, So you have to have like a balance of those things, no? In my case.
Correct. Pero eto rin, I'll give you a story about a situation that happened to me
Sure.
in a sales meeting. So I had my team, I think two technical guys, one supervisor and me, the manager, managing director for that technical product. And we presented to this large, I think this is the top telco company. And they were trying to, this is when the industry was still starting with, the narrow casting system. You know that I started with the Magnalox as a narrow casting company,
Yeah.
setting up different screens that are remotely controlled. No, that's new to the industry.
Right.
They presented to us a technical setup, a system. They said, "Oh, I need a PC here and a screen there, and then we will use a remote software to do this and that." But their remote software was quite difficult. Their PC was chunky, so they were asking us if we can provide a costing for that solution.
Mm.
When I knew that among the invited, because we were together with other suppliers, they cannot provide, or they're scratching their heads when that was presented. They were like in their mind, I was reading their reaction. They're still computing in their head, how much will it cost to provide this big telco company? They know it's a big business, but they're also thinking about what's the investment, how to set it up. The thing about then is I already have an idea of the advantage we can provide. So I provided them with a thing. I said, "Oh, we have this, let's say, I'll just call it innovate box that we can provide you." So they were surprised. I said, "You don't need to do that, eliminate this and that. Just put this box on behind the screen and we'll connect it to the LAN network. Everything will be
Right.
controlled remotely. in a big station located in our office or your main office, and you can connect it nationwide. So right there and then, the supervisor asked us to cut the meeting, let go of everyone, and said, "Paul and team, please stay. I'd like to discuss this thing with you." And then
Mm.
we got the business. It's worth 100 million business.
Yeah, sometimes people or customers tend to overthink as well, di ba? They're complicating things. So that's your role actually, to simplify things for them and act like a consultant or you're the mentor, when doing the sales. Consultative approach, sabi nga nila.
Mm. Kaya
Right.
if you find an advantage, even a slightest advantage, on that particular pitch, you have to present it. Otherwise,
Mm.
you will give them they will think twice before they connect with you. So always find a way to find even the slightest advantage.
Right. Okay, so after executing your pitch, and handling those objections, what's your strategy naman and techniques to close it or close the deal?
There are many ways in closing. Normally, this is about suggesting the next step, meaning
Mm.
um,
Yeah.
uh, for me, what works well is that I will always tell them, "Thank you for inviting us to this meeting." Again, I'll thank them after thanking them at the start. I'll thank them again at the bottom, and we're happy to be part of this journey with you in the growth. So I already am establishing that we will be working with them without their
Right.
decision yet. That's
Assumptive.
one. Yes, that's
Mm.
assumptive, and that's confidence
Right.
that you know that you have presented the product well. Um, or you just be straightforward. Ask for the sale. Tell them, okay, if I may, I'd like to understand. Are you in the position to decide now, or does it need to go through another process or another layer? But if they can make a decision, tell them that you are able to provide the product or the service immediately and close the sale immediately. And that's the quickest way. Another one would be offering a limited time opportunity, either a
Mm.
discount or a supply that's
Right.
not that's going to run out. Yeah.
Yeah, those are good points, no. So I think you mentioned it, yung parang you're already assuming that they're getting the services or the product from you. It's like a trial closing, di ba? And then you
Yes.
mentioned yung urgency. So a discount for a certain period of time, or probably emphasizing that if you don't decide early, then things will be more costly for you, something like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
There is an opposite to that, Dennis. No,
Mm.
some salespeople they will say, the product is will your competitor will get it from us now, so you will lose that opportunity.
Mm.
That's a negative approach. It may work, probably depending on what type of audience you have, but but it doesn't work all the time
Mm.
because if there's a negative effect, there is the negative um, approach. There's a negative effect as well. So you don't want to start it like that in that closing process.
Right.
Make it just all positive. Everyone would find the win-win solution in your conversation.
Right. And then practically speaking, I'm not sure in your case, no, but in my case, especially B2B, no, hindi naman all the time you can close it right away, no, during the sales pitch. No, it can be a series of presentations. Sometimes gusto pa nila ng proof of concept, diba, or something like that.
Yes.
One difficult part is, I think we discussed this before, is the follow through, no, follow through of the next steps. Like in my case, sometimes just merely inviting them to a lunch or dinner, without really emphasizing and closing the deal
That's right.
matters, no. In your case, how what techniques do you do in this follow through activities?
So in the follow through, if you know that the decision is not going to be made right there and then on the table,
Mm.
what you do is, as I think I mentioned earlier, then and you also spoke about the next steps. So if you want to be professional, you have to have other methods like accreditation process.
Mm.
We will follow through with that. Supply chain timings. You give them the information. If they need for, let's say, scheduling, you provide a calendar of schedule, how you'd be able to provide that for them. Or otherwise, if the person who's making a decision wasn't there, then you ask for a meeting for another decision with the decision maker to be there. So that's a way of connecting with them. Now, as you said, may mga not related to the transaction itself, but it's tangible enough to connect or making a relationship or rapport, sitting down with the client, treating them for a coffee.
Mm.
I guess for if you want to just to provide a small item, small information, ask them for a coffee. Sabi mo, quick 5-minute talk, I'll invite you to a coffee shop. Bigay ko sa iyo information na kailangan mo. That may, you'll be surprised it might end up a 30-minute meeting and a decision right there and then.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, those are good, very good insights, especially in closing accounts or